Today we're gonna talk about Booktube and it's gonna get real, so get your tea ready. Hello everyone, today we are doing a tag video. Today we are doing the Booktube Real Talk tag, so we're gonna get right into the tea, stuff like that. I don't drink tea, but I know tea is used for like drama and like controversial things, so let's just go with that. This tag was created by Books with Melissa J. I was actually tagged by Kristin over at Superspacechick. Her, Madeline, Jane, and Alexis did this video all together and they tagged a multitude of people, and I was so lucky and gracious to be named one of them, so thank you Kristin and everyone else for tagging me. I love all of you ladies, and I loved watching their video and hearing their thoughts about Booktube because everyone has their own opinions and it's just nice hearing what other people think about Booktube. And I've been on Booktube for a while, like I want to say it's been 8 or 9 years. I don't know, I don't do math, but it's been a while I've been on Booktube, so let's talk all about it. I think this tag gets into the nitty-gritty of like what I think about it as a whole, so let's dive in, literally. The first question is, what is something nobody told you about Booktube before you started your channel? How much work it was. Like, I think I knew because I'm a workaholic, but how much work I personally would pour into it because I love it so much. Like, I do think of it as a job because that's how I am with anything in life. I think of it kind of like as a job and a task to do, and I just didn't realize how much work it would be. That's the one thing I guess nobody told me about Booktube when I started, which I don't expect anybody to tell me, but there you go. Question number 2, what is your opinion on typical Booktube videos? Wrap up, TBRs, hauls, etc. I'm okay with them. I think any sort of genre specific YouTube channel is gonna have typical videos. You look at your beauty side of YouTube, when a new, let's say, I don't know, I'm not really good at like well versed with makeup brands, Maybelline comes out with a whole new like freaking line of things, you can bet that a good majority of those makeup reviewers are going to review that because it's new. Much like with books, you're going to talk about new books, you're going to talk about books in general, so you're going to get the typical videos, I guess, from any brand of YouTube. Tech stuff, if a new computer comes out, everyone's gonna be talking about that. So it's like kind of typical with reviews, things like that. Does that make any sense? I'm okay with that. I like typical book videos. I really love seeing TBRs and I really love seeing wrap-ups. I get so much feedback on wrap-ups. TBRs are one that sometimes I feel like I should cut them out of my, rotating, because I do all those typical videos, honestly, but a lot of people seem to enjoy them that watch on my channel and they seem to like it, so why not? And I just like to share with you what I'm reading that month. But I love wrap-ups. I really do love wrap-ups because I get a sense of what my friends and what other booktubers liked or didn't like in books they read that month. I also like hauls because sometimes people will haul new books, sometimes people will haul books they got from the thrift store, and it will spark my mind again, like, oh, I meant to get that book years and years ago, but I forgot, and they just brought it up in my mind again. So I don't mind typical Booktube videos, I really don't, but I also don't mind new and innovative Booktube videos. I think with any sort of YouTube channel, you're gonna have typical videos because that's just how it goes. I don't mind it. I hope on my channel, at least, you can see that I do a mixture of typical book videos like wrap-ups, TBRs, and hauls, but I do a lot of other things. Like, I've been doing a lot of TV videos lately talking about Buffy and Gilmore Girls and The Office. Those are kind of different. And I do like top 10 underrated books, or top 10, or books I've DNF'd or book unhauls. I try to do new stuff. I don't know how innovative I am because I'm not that super creative, but I guess this is a long answer. I'm okay with typical videos. I truly am, and I can see why some people are not, and I'm okay with that, and I can see why some people love typical videos. Either way, either side of the coin, it's okay. What is an assumption you had about Booktube before you joined? Was it proven to be correct or not? Oh, I guess my assumption about Booktube is that just everybody had endless amounts of money to buy books, which I think was proven to be wrong. And I also believe that everyone just had all the time in the world to read books, which was proven wrong because everyone's got different things in their life going on, whether it be a job, a kid, college, high school, things like that. Like, I just thought when I started Booktube, everybody read like at every second of the day, and that was proven wrong because not everybody has time to do all that. So I guess that one, I don't know if I had any more like assumptions about Booktube before I began. I don't know. Question number 4 is, what is something you've done that has actually helped you grow your audience? Talk to people. Making friends over the internet is hard for me for some reason. I don't know if it's because of my age, because I feel like I am the older one here on Booktube, like the older mom nobody wants to talk to. That's me. Hi. Hello. I'm okay with it. But I feel like I never really fit in on Booktube with friends. Like everyone had their friends and it was just me like alone in the corner like, hey, what's up? But this year in particular, this past year and this year in particular, I've really branched out and talked to people that have very similar interests in me and being like, hey, you know, let's buddy read, let's hang out. Like I've heard about you from a mutual friend and can I be your friend? And it's turned out amazing. Like I didn't used to do that because I was so nervous and felt like I would be too pushy on people, but I don't know if I am or not. Probably am. I'm sorry if I'm pushy, but I'd like to say I've made a really strong group of friends here on Booktube, and I have done that, and that's helped grow my audience, I think, because I'm branching out more. I'm talking to different booktubers and book bloggers as well. They're a vital part of this community as well, and I think that's grown my audience because the more people you know, like the more people you know, I guess. I'm answering all these really horribly. Forgive me. Question number 5 is, what is a common mistake you see new booktubers making, or the one that you made? Buying all the books ever. Like when I first joined Booktube, that was another assumption. I just assumed that you had to buy all the books forever and ever, and I did that. I bought like every book that I wanted, honestly, and over half the books that I bought, probably 75% of the books I bought when I first started Booktube, I don't have anymore because I just bought them to buy them. There was no rhyme or reason. I just did it. And that is a mistake I made. And I think a lot of booktubers make that because they feel like they have to have all of the books on their shelves. It takes a lot of time to accumulate a lot of books. Don't get me wrong. Like I have a lot of books, that is for sure. And they've been accumulated over the past 10 years or so. But I just thought when I first started I had to buy every single book ever and I had to own them all. Like I had to have them, and I can't put a picture in my video because I have to hold the book up. And yeah, I assumed that I had to buy all the books, and that was a mistake. So if you are starting, you're like, I don't have enough books in my background and I don't have enough books to show. Don't let that faze you at all. I don't care about that. Nobody else should care about that. You don't need to buy all the books, especially if you're on a budget. Like myself, you don't need to buy all the books. That brings it to question number 6, probably the most controversial one. What are your thoughts on working with publishers and sponsorships? Let's get into it. So, I do work with publishers and I do sponsorships on my videos. I'd say if I put out 20 videos a month, maybe 2 of them are sponsored that month. Me personally, this is me personally saying this for myself. Let's just say that. I don't mind sponsorships and I don't mind working with publishers. This venture that I started out with Booktube, I definitely started out as a hobby because I didn't have friends to talk to in real life that love books. I still don't. All my friends don't like reading. That's understandable. But I wanted to talk to people about books, and that's great. And I've delved into this, making it, I wouldn't say a career, but it does bring me money. If you think it brings me a lot of money, I'm sorry to tell you, it does not. I would classify this as a side hustle, if you've heard of the terminology. Everything's legal, of course, but yeah, I use my income that I get from YouTube and from sponsorships and from publishers to help pay for my livelihood, aka it could help pay with my electric bill or gas bill or my son's speech therapy that we have to pay out of pocket for. That's very expensive. So everyone does anything with their own money. That's whatever you want to do. If you want to hear what I do with mine, that is what I do. A lot of times this past couple years, I've been putting it in savings to help save up for a new house we are purchasing. So the money that I get from sponsorships and publishing companies, that's what I do with it. So I do count it as an income, and I'm grateful for it. I'm so insanely grateful for it. So I don't mind sponsorships, and I don't mind publishing sponsorships either altogether. I will say, if I was a channel that talked about 99% fantasy books and then a sponsorship wants me to talk about a contemporary book and I did, that's kind of odd because that's not authentic to me. So I try to always accept offers of books that I would honestly read and books that are interesting to me and would be interesting to you. So I don't try to ever promote, I don't ever try to accept sponsorships of books that I just would never like read myself, if that makes any sense. So I try to be authentic as possible. There are some sponsorships I have turned down because it wasn't right for me. It wasn't right to talk to them about you guys. It just wasn't a good fit. So I try to be as authentic as possible with sponsorships and publishing, but it does help. I'm not gonna lie. It helps with like my house and my income, and with a kid, it helps out a lot, and I'm grateful for that. So bottom line is I'm okay with sponsorships and, you know, working with publishing companies as long as it's legal, as long as it's honest, and as long as you're authentic and transparent to your viewers, which I hope for. I hope that I am. I'd like to think that I am, but yeah, the bottom line of the day, I understand people have bills to pay. People have to, you know, make ends meet, and this is how I make my ends meet a lot of times, so I'm very extremely grateful for this opportunity. So yeah, long spiel. I'm okay with it. Yay. Question number 7 is, do you think Booktube is dying? And I don't. I think it's thriving. When I first started Booktube a long time ago, like I want to say it was 2011 or 2012. Booktube was very small. It was like, I would say it was kind of medium. Like I think if you knew one person, you knew like everybody, and I was a newbie for sure, but like it was a much smaller circle than it is now. Like Booktube has exploded, and it is continuously growing because new people are finding out about books and new people are being inspired to make videos, and I love that so freaking much. So I don't think Booktube is dying. I've also noticed a few of my friends that are book bloggers that are now starting their own Booktube channel for a new avenue to talk about books, and I think that's great because yes, there is Booktube, but there's also book bloggers, and I love them. I think they deserve as much as a platform as we do. So I love that more people are coming to Booktube and new people are coming every single week, and that you can find such a wide array of booktubers, especially with diversity books. If you want to find a romance channel, you can. If you want to find a book channel that talks all about horror books, there's several channels like that. If you want to find a channel that's all about classics or fantasy books, like I am subscribed to people of books that I don't ever read, but I just love watching their content. But there's so many different genres of booktubers that you can find. I think a lot of times people think of Booktube and they think of strictly YA, like there's only YA booktubers, which I would say probably takes up the majority of Booktube, I'm not gonna lie to you, but there are so much more out there. Like I said, there's horror, there's adult fantasy, there's adult fiction, there's romance books, there's paranormal books. There's so many channels that I know personally that have all of those genres and talk about them on their channel. So don't think that Booktube is just for YA. It is not. I've grown out of YA a lot, especially these past couple years. I read a lot of adult books and I read a lot of YA books, but I read a lot more adult books. So yeah, Booktube I think is thriving, and I think it's going to continue to thrive. I mean, like Michelle Obama just met with some booktubers. Like, how awesome is that? So number 8 is tag your friends. A lot of my friends have already done this, so I'm just going to say tag yourself. Do it if you want to. I love watching these videos because it just gives you perspective on what other people think about the industry and things like that. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope I wasn't too crass with the way I talked or too harsh or anything like that. Bottom line is I love Booktube. I don't plan to leave anytime soon. I don't plan to quit reading anytime soon. I love it, and I love all of you guys, and I'm thankful for the opportunities you all have given. If you for watching, it means the world to me. I don't want this to become a gush fest, but I'm a gusher, so let's just do it. Oh, thank you, seriously. I read every single one of your comments. I don't exaggerate with that. I try to reply back as many as I can, and I'm thankful for every single person that takes time out of their busy day, because I know everybody's busy all the time, including myself, to watch my videos. I'm extremely appreciative, and I'm grateful from the bottom of my heart. So thank you all for watching my channel, and yeah, Booktube is amazing. If you are on the fence about joining or not and starting a channel, go for it. Do it. I'm here to support you. We're all here to support you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.